Live actions, am I right? Okay, no. Live action movies are really something to be marveled at. Get it? Marvel? Marvel makes live action movies.
Hey, it's me.
This video isn't gonna focus on, Marvel or Harry Potter. It's not gonna focus on those live actions. It's not gonna focus on the franchises that have succeeded in terms of live action. This video is focused on the anime ones. But anyway, yeah. So this video, the reason why it's being done is because the One Piece live action is coming out this year, and kind of worried because most live action like movies and series have failed dismally. But yeah, like I'm having hope, and we're gonna go over that. So, what is live action? Live action movies are, essentially, they just so live action refers to cinematography or filmography that uses photography rather than animation. I feel like I can't just say live action suck. I still need to say, like fight for them a little, and that's what this next part is about. So even though I say live actions suck, it doesn't mean that there aren't any that don't have any merit, to their name. Like a recent good one that I watched was Marvel's Moon Knight. I really enjoyed it.
A few moments later.
Into the whole thing of like anime live actions, my main problem is that they are taking something that like is expressive and like it really like exaggerates things, like they take in this thing that's expressive and it exaggerates like a whole bunch of stuff, and they're trying to convert it to the real world where it doesn't really translate as well, because if you try to replicate those same emotions that you see in like the manga or the anime in real life, it doesn't come across as good. It comes across as cringe. Okay, it's cringe to see over the top emotion in real life, and I feel that's why it falls short, because you go into this whole like thing of viewing the movie as like, oh, I wonder like just how close to how accurate it is to the manga, and then like you watch it and it's like, if they do try and keep it like accurate to the manga, like it just like it feels icky. It feels like it shouldn't exist, and that's why when it comes to like manga, like they don't like get adapted into live action. They get adapted into anime because it's a better place to express what's in those manga panels. Animation is a way better storytelling tool because you don't really have any limitations. You can do whatever, like you don't need special effects. You just need to be able to draw, and you can get like this awesome like sequence like played out. Even though I say that like anime is like the better way to convert the manga into like a story, even though I say that, I cannot ignore the few live action adaptations that went straight from the manga to live action that like were well received, like Tommy and Old Boy. Like those, like I haven't watched them myself, but like I've seen the reviews and like they were well received. Those two are the ones I know of. So like maybe I'll actually watch them, gain my opinion, and then come back to this. But like off a first look, like those were well received, and they didn't have anime that preceded them. And I think that's also a big problem, like when it comes to like wanting to make a live action, because I mean, like look at Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Evolution sucks, no doubt about it. If you think otherwise, I don't know what to say, because you're wrong. Like everyone's allowed to have their opinions, but not that one. They are not allowed to think that Dragon Ball Evolution is good. One second. When you take Dragon Ball Evolution, like it's adapted from this show that we used to watch growing up, Dragon Ball, like, and then when Dragon Ball Z, like it's taken from that, like the characters are from there, like because we have like this image already of like what like Dragon Ball is supposed to be like. Of course we're going to be like disappointed with the outcome of like the live action, because it's not what like we were expecting. It's like it's poorly done. And yeah, that's like the biggest thing, because like Dragon Ball Evolution, I feel like if it wasn't like adapting from Dragon Ball, like if it was its own film, own characters, own like name or whatever, then it would have been good. But like because like it has the Dragon Ball name attached to it, if it disappoints, it's gonna be bad. Like things like Dragon Ball Evolution, The Last Airbender, and Death Note, like those three, like everyone, like almost everyone knows them. I really don't think there are people that think those movies are good, because they're trying to like take this thing that everyone knows and then they twisting it in this way, and it's like you really shouldn't have done that, because this isn't what people wanted. People wanted, something that like really shows like what the whole thing was about, and then like it doesn't like translate well when you try and change the story, when you try and make something that's light-hearted or dark and grimy, and it's like you setting yourself up for failure at that point. But yeah, it's like it's basically raising the identities we have with these characters like further, because not only are you changing the tone of like the anime, like, or the manga completely, you're changing their identity, because like they went from like these people like for the most part, like all these characters are Asian, like it's Japanese, unless stated otherwise. Like the first thing to assume is that like all these characters are of Asian descent. So like when you just make it a white guy, like in Ghost in the Shell, like that one, like that, I feel like that's like a bigger, like image of like just how wrong it is to like whitewash these characters, because Scarlett Johansson is playing a Asian character in Japan, and like it really gives off this thing of like, would it be white savior, like a white savior, like like just a white person coming to save people or whatever, like a white person has to be the hero in some way. Whitewashing and like changing the tone, like those like really can destroy like a live action like movie or series. And yeah, it doesn't help when like everyone has these preconceived ideas because of the anime of like how it should look, because then you just like fall short. Like I said, you're setting yourself up for failure in instances where there isn't whitewashing. That doesn't mean that it won't suck, because look at Cowboy Bebop. Like Spike Spiegel was played by, what's his name? I'll put his name up on the screen because it's not coming to me now. And like it wasn't well received, because like everyone had like this anime like idea of like how it should be and everything, and then that like destroyed it. Like I said with like the whole Dragon Ball Evolution, if it was a standalone thing, like if it wasn't attached to its name in any way, like if the name was different, if the characters were different, then it could be a cool series. Like if Cowboy Bebop wasn't Cowboy Bebop, like if it was like just about bounty hunters in space, like if it was just inspired by Cowboy Bebop but it didn't use the name or any of the characters, then I feel like it would have been better received. Like it's just like the reason live action suck, it's really just because of this whole thing of like, we have this idea, so we're hoping you can take this idea that we have and translate it into live action. If you don't, you already failed. And like speaking on Cowboy Bebop and how it like was badly received, like even the creator, he couldn't get past the first scene of Cowboy Bebop, the live action. He couldn't, like, what he said was it was clearly not Cowboy Bebop, and I realized at that point that if I wasn't involved, it would not be Cowboy Bebop. And that's why, like, I feel like One Piece has a better chance of like really taking back this thing, because Oda is involved. Like he helped with the casting, he's like he's directing as well. Like his word is being put into it. It's just this thing of like, if the One Piece live action fails, then like, does that mean like just like don't make live actions? Because I feel like that's like the thing that would be like illustrates it, because like the creators involved and everything. But yeah, what Shinichiro had said is that he was grateful in a way. He felt that maybe he should have done it, although with the failure of the Cowboy Bebop live action, what happened was it gave the original anime a far higher value, because like everyone like, this sucks, because I remember like until the Cowboy Bebop live action, like I hadn't watched Cowboy Bebop at all. Like I knew of Spike Spiegel, I knew of the anime, but I never watched it. And then what I did was I watched the live action first, and then I watched the anime, and I was like, this anime is awesome. And then I tried to watch the live action again. I'm like, I can't do this, because like, full disclaimer, I watched the live action and I enjoyed it. Because I didn't have this idea of like how the characters should be, how they should act and everything. Like I enjoyed it. It really just goes back to my point on why I think they suck. It's because they have this image to uphold, and then they just don't. They don't like stick to the source material. They take the characters and they make their own story. Like that's like the problem that like I see, like because it seems like, like, oh, people are gonna recognize this name, they're gonna want to watch it, it's gonna make us money. That feels like the only thing that's important, like that's the only thing that's going on. And that's why I think like live action suck, because they don't like try to actually cater to the fans. They just trying to like make a quick buck and then like get out of there. And it's like, you could have actually tried, instead of like just using these names, you could have actually tried. And like, who knows, like you could have like made an anime that like made a live action that wasn't necessarily better than the anime, but people like appreciated it just as they appreciate the anime. I feel like I've said my piece. I have high hopes for the One Piece live action. I'm really looking forward to it. Like, and I say that like having watched One Piece, like I am looking forward to the One Piece live action, mainly because of like the direction it's gone in, like, and the way like Oda has been involved. Like it feels like, like there's a good chance that it could actually be really good. So like I'm looking forward to it. In conclusion, the reason why I have said that live actions suck is because like with our expectations as the viewer, we go into these viewings of like, oh, I can't wait to see this scene, I can't wait to see that scene. Or like you keep on like, you have something that you're comparing it to constantly, and like whenever it doesn't like match that, it instantly lets you down. And that's not wrong. It's not wrong to like have these expectations, but at the same time, like it has to be understood that like not always will you be able to like fully replicate something that was made in a realm of fantasy, because like Marvel has done it well, like they've managed to like make something that is fantasy driven. They've managed to make it feel like it could exist in real life. And that's where like a lot of these live actions fall short, because a lot of the things that they're trying to like tackle just doesn't like communicate like well into the real world. And yeah, like, and I think it's really because of our expectations as the viewer that like it really like it immediately puts live action like anime movies like like on like a negative rating, because yeah, like what are you expecting? You can't really like communicate all those emotions well enough. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. I feel like this has been a very chaotic video, because it's my first like real like speaking on my opinion type thing, and like really putting it out there. And yeah, I did enjoy like doing this, because I wrote a script up and everything. I was really looking forward to doing this, and I finally had the time and I've recorded it, and like I may actually want to do it again. So like if you have any pointers, like just like put it down in the comments, like just like say, hey, like let me know what you think. Like tell me your thoughts, in the comments. Tell me your thoughts, tell me what you thought of this, tell me what you think of my opinion, tell me your opinion. And yeah, thank you.